Following Lil Jeff's tragic death, the street became a dangerous place for his killer. While that might not be news, things inside the jail are even worse. What's happening to Lil Jeff's killer has fans buzzing, and some are even flooding President Trump's DMs, demanding an immediate pardon for I Trap Rob out of fear for his safety. It's a crazy situation. If authorities don't step in soon, there's no telling what might happen next. Let's get into it. Lil Jeff's killer attacked in jail. Shortly after Lil Jeff was killed and the shooter was identified on Reddit as Trap City Rob, a wave of threats started popping up online, hinting that Lil Jeff's killer wasn't safe on the streets. Well, turns out he ain't safe behind bars either. After Lil Jeff's death, everyone knew the Bloodhounds would eventually get back at his killer. Someone even said Trap City is in danger forever now. So, is that exactly what's happening? Well, the rumor about him getting attacked started when an image began circulating on Reddit, showing Trap City Rob in jail. In the picture, Rob looks defeated, clearly reflecting on his harsh reality behind bars. To make things worse, an old post resurfaced where I Trap Rob expressed deep regret about landing in jail. He talked about the constant supervision and how he's still getting attacked by the ops. CO walking past my cell, inmates throwing shit and fuck. One phone call a week, shaking my head. Well, it's safe to say some of his fans took it as a sign that he was really going through it behind bars. His fans started a Free Trap City Rob campaign, with some leaving messages in President Trump's DM. One of the messages reads, "Look here, Donald, you need to go ahead and free Unc off the jam. Give bro a pardon or summon. The porch is vulnerable with no to defend it. Trap City got no defense player anymore. Free Unc fam." Another fan added, "Dear Mr. President Trump, in here to inquire about Unc, also known as Rob. There's a lot of nephews who care about and miss our beloved Unc, and we would really appreciate if you will consider pardoning him. Sincerely, niece." Within minutes, the campaign went viral. Trap City Rob was not always this famous, but after killing the notorious Lil Jeff, he earned an army of loyal fans who call him Unc Rob because of the age difference between Rob and Lil Jeff. Rob is also a rapper whose music wasn't making numbers, but with his new fame, his song What a Feeling, released in 2020, started to rack up streams. Rob has become so popular that he has his own subreddit called Trap City Unc Gang, where fans talk about him as a necessary force on the street. Hilariously, members of this subreddit call themselves nephews.
I ain't gonna lie, Reddit be tweaking. They got his own, look, they got a group called Trap City Unc Gang.
Right.
That's the group, just the group.
Right.
Unc Gang, and his picture's on there, and then they got, look, it say 1,000, the members in there, it say 1,738 nephews.
These nephews are as tough as Uncle Rob himself. It's no surprise that during his arrest, law enforcement didn't find it easy. He put up a fight. According to the document, surveillance officers spotted Trap City Rob entering and leaving his apartment on S. Rhodes Avenue armed with a black firearm. It is important to mention that the surveillance officers were aware that Trap City Rob was a convicted felon and gun offender who was not supposed to own a firearm at any point in time. As soon as the officer sighted Rob, he approached him on foot. But first, he called out to the suspect, letting him know that his body cam was activated and he was under arrest. I believe the officer did that to ensure a smooth and easy arrest, but the reverse was the case. According to the report, when the police officer tried to get Trap City Rob under custody, Rob pulled away and refused to follow verbal instructions. He used dead weight to stiffen his body, making it difficult for the officer to handcuff him. The report states that Trap City Rob left the officer no choice but to employ control techniques, escort holds, and emergency takedown to get the arrestee in custody. During the struggle between Rob and the officer, a black loaded firearm fell off Rob's thigh. At this point, Trap City Rob continued to resist arrest until another surveillance officer joined in and forced the cuffs on Rob's wrists. It was reported that because of Trap City Rob's body size and resistance, 2 handcuffs were used on him, which resulted in injuries on his right wrist. However, Trap City Rob's actions were not without consequences. According to the document, after being placed into the squad role, Coleman was transported directly to 2nd District lockup due to his actions and demeanor on scene. In a shocking turn of events, an investigation into Trap City Rob's involvement in the homicide failed to prove that Rob was the actual shooter. As a result, the murder charge leveled against him was dropped. However, he got jail time for the gun charge. Following the arrest, a series of reactions and rising controversies erupted on Reddit. One user commented, "I ain't well versed on Illinois self-defense laws, but it is insane to me that anybody would be charged with murder in this situation. Was it because they kept shooting him?" Another user responded, "Ain't no self-defense for overkill. Probably a couple shots or so, but not 19. While the argument was centered around whether or not Lil Jeff's killer acted in self-defense, another Reddit user was concerned about dropping Rob's gun charge. The comment says, Free his ass for that armed habitual he proved that day why made it a habit. And to be honest, most fans shared the same perspective, which explains why Trap City Rob was praised for standing on business after the incident. It's almost like the entire case was solved on Reddit before CPD started their investigation. On June 16th, Curacology featured a new post showing Trap City Rob's photograph barely a week after Lil Jeff's murder. Within the hour, some people observed that in that picture, Rob was wearing a shirt that appeared to be a troll to Jeff and how he died. Tensions were high as Drill City and Trap City fans went head-to-head on Reddit. To avoid a new wave of war, iTrap Rob granted an interview in the hood to tell his part of the story. Rob, alongside his Day One homies Terror and OTF Black, were filmed standing by the porch while observing their left and right for any possible threat. Interestingly, Rob opened the interview by denying his internet-imposed status of being the OG shooter who took out Lil Jeff.
Who we got on camera?
Big Rob, man.
I don't even think you need no introduction at this point, my boy.
I do, man.
Okay, for sure.
Despite the praises, Trap City Rob was humble, trying to break the chain of violence in the hood. The interviewer reminded them about the viral meme on Reddit where Robert's face is photoshopped on Malcolm X's iconic photo with the caption, "Protect the Trap." Rob was not impressed. The post suggests that Rob should run for president with the assurance that he will triumph in politics. Trap City Rob then acknowledged that he had seen the meme on Reddit, but he is not out to chase clout on the internet. This is largely because most of the violence and murder in Chicago happens because someone trolled or bragged about the death of a rival gang member. iTrap Rob is not all about that life. He made it clear that he doesn't want to fall victim to the same violence. The Hood War that made Trap City Rob famous. The interview iTrap Rob did with Block 2 Block revealed some facts about the ongoing hood beef between Trap City and Drill City, leading to the death of Lil Jeff. Most importantly, Rob explained that he was not all about that life. Even though he enjoys drill rap, he hates the violence that comes with it.
Chase that
I
shit
be on
though,
some
like, I
pain
never
shit.
chased
I
that
be on
drill
some-
rap.
Yeah.
I be on
Okay.
some pain.
Honestly, real life.
Mhm.
I'm in my vibe, but I understand the overall. You know what I'm saying?
Rob would go on to say that black people keep killing each other because of things that truly don't matter. It's the same perspective that Rob's fans on Reddit go about preaching during the internet war that started between Drill and Trap City. However, while Rob and his fans despise the violence, Lil Jeff lived and died for it. Bloodhound Q50's recent Instagram post shows that Lil Jeff has been on the street long enough to catch bodies, with videos circulating showing that before 2024, Lil Jeff was moving around with a ski mask armed to his teeth like a deadly assassin. Again, in an earlier interview covering Lil Jeff's lifestyle, the young gangster revealed that he had been on the street since he turned 18.
So around what age did you jump off the porch and start hanging out in the streets?
I'm gonna say when I came outside for real, I was like 18 type shit.
Okay.
I just turned like 18.
He also went on to reveal that he was no stranger to the street, despite jumping off the porch at 18.
But the shit I'm doing now is shit I've been seeing my whole life, you know what I'm saying? I told you I got an older brother. So this shit ain't nothing new for real. It's the same shit I've been seeing.
Lil Jeff revealed that he had an elder brother who taught him almost everything he needed to know about the street. And if you don't know, he was talking about J Boogie. Now what you should know is that J Boogie is about the same age group as Trap City Rob, and what's most important to note is that back in the day, these dudes were cool with each other. In the interview by Block 2 Block on YouTube, Trap City Rob confirmed that the two hoods used to be cool until the Bloodhounds stole their homie's chain, and then everything went south.
Yeah. Fuck used to hang with them. They know what they did.
So, okay.
They know what they did.
So, okay, the Bloodhounds, yeah, y'all was cool.
Everybody that got a
That was my homie.
He stole the chain, bro. We tried like he took it. He stole my homie chain.
But again, if you look closely, you will see even far deeper than what Rob said was the reason for the beef. At least for Bloodhound Jeff, their feud started with the death of his cousin Z Money. Let me give you a little background. Very early in Lil Jeff's growth, J Boogie caught a charge and was sent behind bars. Now, with J Boogie in jail, Lil Jeff's cousin Z Money stepped in and started playing the role of an elder brother to Lil Jeff. He helped do his dirty work for him. He gave him the spotlight while playing the role of a background director. However, Lil Jeff and the entire Bloodhound gang would be faced with one of the most devastating losses that would sever the street alliances between Trap and Drill City. On the 16th of March, 2023, Z Money was killed. According to news reports, Z Money was in his car on the 1300 block of East 79th Street near the 79th intersection in Kimbar. He was in the Avalon Park neighborhood, in the parking lot of a dry cleaner store. There, the tragedy unlocked. It was reported that a car approached Z Money in the neighborhood and began to fire shots in his direction. Z Money was rushed to the University of Chicago Medical Center, and unfortunately there he breathed his last. Z-Money's unfathomable death was a painful loss to the Bloodhounds, but most especially to Lil Jeff, who had enjoyed Z-Money's protection since his brother was incarcerated. After the murder, Lil Jeff and his right-hand man Q50 would go on to tattoo Z-Money's name on their skin as a tribute to their fallen hero. Just when the situation was cooling off, rumors about Z-Money's killer's identity began to circulate. On Reddit, it was rumored that Z-Money was backdoored by his old friends at Trap City. Following the whispers on the street, Lil Jeff was restless and thirsty for blood and soon went out for a hunt. And Lil Jeff, he always had a target in mind. Lil Pooh, a Trap City dude who had been dissing Z-Money, was out on the street walking freely like it was Thanksgiving Sunday. He started showing up at familiar places, acting like everything was cool, despite knowing that his name was being whispered on the street. But Lil Jeff was not one to rush. He always gave his targets time to let their guards down while strategizing on how to strike. April 9th, 2023 was D-Day. Jeff and the Bloodhounds had decided that Lil Pooh wasn't going to see the next summer. However, Lil Jeff didn't just roll up on Pooh and spray him. He instead waited for him outside his home, as patient as a watchdog. And when Lil Pooh arrived home to rest his head, Lil Jeff sent him to eternal rest. According to CPD, at about 11:30 p.m., shots rang out at the 1800 block of 223rd Street. As soon as they arrived, they found the victim, later identified as Pierre Boozer Jr., unresponsive in the front yard of his home. He was shot multiple times until he breathed his last. No one said a thing about the hit to the police, but the street knew who the prime suspects were. Then shortly after, Lil Jeff wanted to send a clear message. He dissed Lil Pooh in an unreleased Son, hinting that he waited outside his home and got him. Lil Pooh dissed Z, now Lil Pooh gone, you know that never take too long laying in the grass until he come home, he rapped. Word on the street was that Lil Jeff never released the diss out of respect for his Flipside homies. However, when Lil Pooh's homie posted his picture, Lil Jeff sent a message saying he dissed Z. Lil Jeff was direct. No Z-Money disrespect can be tolerated. However, Bloodhound Lil Jeff did not just slide for Z-Money and went back to his shell. He had tasted blood and was craving more. Shortly after, Lil Jeff was out on the street again, chasing his ops to their early graves. One of the most popular moments Lil Jeff chased down ops was the murder of BKN Lil Rob and Monty, captured on camera. The tragic incident unfolded at the Innovations High School, located in downtown Chicago in an area known as Loop. At about 12:30 noon, Lil Rob and BKN Monty were heading out of school for a lunch break towards Washington Street and Wabash Avenue. As busy as that location was, as soon as Monty and Lil Rob arrived, two cars pulled over, and some armed men jumped out and began to let out shots, killing the BKN boys. Surveillance footage shows Lil Rob and Monty casually walking toward the elevator structure, completely oblivious to the terror ahead of them. If you look to the right, you will see the moment a dark-colored SUV pulled up from underneath the train tracks. One person pulled out of the car, approached the boy in a frenzy, and opened fire on them. As soon as the targets are hit, the shooter rushes back to the vehicle and takes off towards Wabash and South, then turns left on Madison and escapes. Although the surveillance footage captured only one vehicle pulled up for the hit, according to CPD Deputy Chief John, two cars pulled up and fired multiple shots at a group of teenage boys.
When two cars pulled up and a group of individuals exited said vehicles, fired multiple times, striking two of the teenage students of Innovations High School. These individuals were taken to Northwestern Hospital where they succumbed to their injuries.
Eyewitnesses said that over 10 to 15 rounds of gunshots rang out, and within a split second, the shooters took off. Local shopkeeper Muhammad Ashik described the shots from his point of view as sounding like firecrackers.
Firecracker, like something like a firecracker, like a 10-15 shot.
If the shots sounded like a firecracker, that means that at least one of the shooter's pistols was probably equipped with a switch that sounded like explosives. It was a brutal hit, and the entire city was mourning. Oh, not the entire city per se, because shortly after the hit, the mastermind of the hit would go on to brag about the operation. First, he hopped on IG Live and started making comments hinting that he just dropped 2 bodies, adding to his body count.
I feel if I get mad enough, will start happening. Y'all know this by now. I went for like a week and poof. Gotta go after that one. Poof. I came back. Poof.
Lil Jeff was so cold that many fans of the drill wondered why he chased down Lil Rob and Monty with such precision. I'll tell you why. Back in the day, Lil Rob and Monty allegedly robbed Lil Jeff of his pieces of jewelry. As disrespectful as that was, the boys would hop on the internet to start a spree of trolling and disses directed at the Bloodhounds. The BKN boys bragged about the robbery and claimed the jewelry they got was fake.
Tell the op. We talking broad day. You taking trophies.
We got like 50K, damn! That fake AP they got.
Lil Rob and Monty flexed about the bounty price and showed off 2 watches grabbed from the hit. Hilariously, one of the watches was a fake iced watch designed to look like an original AP timepiece. Almost immediately, a Reddit user noted that iced out watch had a GLD logo on the clasp. It's an online jewelry store that specializes in plated jewelry, aka fake. When the news hit the street, Lil Jeff hopped on IG Live claiming that nobody took anything from him by force. The boys wanted to take a look and ran off when he wasn't noticing.
My dead grandmother head, if I'm lying, I'm down. God could come pull me out this car right now. I never took a dollar from
Nothing.
A nigga said, let me take a picture, this, that, and that. I look up, the nigga then ran down. We all the way at the top of the staircase first off.
Shortly after, a YouTuber, Word from the Trenches, would get Monty and some BKN members on his vlog where they repeatedly flexed the watches they stole and bragged about the operation. On the same vlog, Monty got a FaceTime call from Bloodhound Lil Jeff. In the intense conversation, Monty started by asking Lil Jeff where the J at, meaning where that jewelry was, then proceeded to show off the watch he stole from him. All the BKN boys did on that vlog was disrespect Lil Jeff and troll the entire Bloodhound. And Lil Jeff doesn't take disrespect. Almost a year after the hit, the Chicago Police Department hit a milestone in their investigation and began making arrests. The first suspect was identified as Tommy Coleman, an affiliate of Lil Jeff and the Bloodhounds. He was arrested on the 5700 block of North Mason and hit with double murder charges. Then earlier this year, a second suspect was identified as 20-year-old James Allison, known on the street as J-Mo Bloodhound. Word on the street was that Lil Jeff was next on the line before his tragic death. Lil Jeff was at the peak of the drill, pacing to the top of the game. However, somewhere on the street, death was lurking for him, but he was too fearless to notice. How was Lil Jeff killed? Interestingly, the events of Lil Jeff's death are perhaps the most dramatic turn of events in the Chicago drill scene. Lil Jeff literally died trying to do what he knew how to do best, which is killing for the fun of it. I remember one of Lil Jeff's lyrics where he said every time he sees an op, he drops his mask and swings the door. Well, as it turned out, Lil Jeff never joked about a thing he rapped about. The most devastating event to have hit the Bloodhounds happened in broad daylight on June 8, 2024. On that day, Bloodhound Lil Jeff, Q50, and one other guy were caught standing on business. In surveillance footage that was later released, Lil Jeff and his gang were seen literally swinging the door and jumping off the car to smoke a rival gang member in the heart of Trap City. In the footage, which I can't show you in full because of its gruesome nature, the people in the black SUV are Lil Jeff's homies. They dropped out of the car and started firing shots at a young man on South Road Avenue. If you look closely, you will see that while the car was parked, the squad sighted the target, and Lil Jeff quickly swung the door open and started letting out shots. The target, wearing bright yellow shorts, quickly ducks behind a car and eventually runs into the porch of a building while still being shot at by Lil Jeff. Hold up! I knew Chicago was a crazy place as soon as I saw Lil Jeff wearing a black Nike hoodie and gray Nike joggers, chasing his target straight into their home where he met his end. Word on the street is that after Lil Jeff spotted this guy, he went all in chasing and shooting at him. For some reason, his homies did not go with him. They stood by their car while letting out shots at the gray car. As soon as Lil Jeff hit the target, he chased him right into the porch like it was in the movies. However, a bleak tragedy was just about to unfold. The rapper and killer, who had fantasized about chasing an op into their home numerous times in his music, finally fulfilled his fantasy. Only that, this was a one-time only experience for Lil Jeff. Someone from the house counterattacked Lil Jeff, sending him out head over heels with bullets to the ground, and there, lying lifeless, was the man called Bloodhound Lil Jeff. The word on the street was that Lil Jeff's shooter emptied the whole magazine on him. In the same video, Q50 and the other guy could be seen running to the porch trying to cover Lil Jeff, but the shooter rained hell that the two had to settle for finding a way out of the crossfire. As soon as Lil Jeff's death reached social media, fans and colleagues began to upload tributes in respect of the fallen monster. Lil Scoom89, a close associate of the Bloodhounds, posted a series of stories following the murder, mourning his friend. "I love you, I'ma be with you real soon," he wrote, adding, "Damn brudda, this she don't feel real." Another artist and video creator, AMF Visuals, posted a story as well with a picture of Bloodhound Lil Jeff and a heartbreak emoji. Both AMF Visuals and Lil Jeff produced a music video titled Ah earlier last year, and I remember when I first heard that song, I liked it and I vibed to it. It took me a while to realize that Lil Jeff was rapping about the high school double homicide, and the ah was the sound one of the victims made while breathing their last breath. However, as expected, fans of the drill culture, and other users of the internet reacted to Lil Jeff's death in different ways. One comment quickly pointed out, "The energy you put out always comes back to you." While some fans were reacting to his death, some were busy on Reddit, they were trying to identify the guys Lil Jeff was on the drill with. Remember the guy in the red jumpsuit? Fans identified him as Q50, and people started trolling for getting shot on the drill. However, Q50 denied being involved in the drill.
Does it make it worse when it's like videos and shit and people reacting to it? And they're trying to say you slipped and fell, and you saying that wasn't even there, right?
I wasn't even there. Stop saying I was dumb, man. I wasn't even there. Stop saying I was dumb, man. I wasn't even there.
Well, Q50 might deny all he wants, but the street is hardly wrong. In the same light, the Reddit investigators identified the guy in the yellow shot who Lil Jeff was chasing as Trap City Glenn. In a shocking turn of events, it turned out that day was not the first time Lil Jeff chased down Trap City Glenn, because it was alleged that Lil Jeff once caught Glenn slipping at a store and fired 15 shots at him. However, Glenn always survived a Lil Jeff ambush. Then a resurfaced video shows Lil Jeff talking about the time he chased down Glenn at the store, confirming the rumors on the street.
Yeah, I love, for real though. Yeah, I love that nigga. That stuff. Too bad his ass ain't die. He get to see y'all. I'm glad though, he can see y'all talk about him all day. Cause that should have died.
Well, 15 shots could have killed Glenn, but Glenn survived. A fan quickly commented, "Damn, that nigga gotta be blessed FR, grandma been praying for him type she." It's been almost a year since Lil Jeff's death, but the street is still heavy with his name. If you enjoyed this video, click the card showing on your screen for more videos.